Welcome to Take Me to the Cloud, a place for business professionals to hear insights and best practices from industry experts that combine cloud systems, operations, supply chain, and finance.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on another episode of Take Me to the Cloud. I'm your host, Melissa Holton. My co-hosts today are my colleagues Luis Palmatesta and Daryl Woodworth, both certified NetSuite consultants in the NetSuite practice here at Witham. Hi, gents. Glad to have you back on the show.
Hey, Melissa. Glad to be back.
Hey, Melissa. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about NetSuite. Twice a year, NetSuite releases scheduled updates that enhance the functionality of the ERP platform, and they've begun to roll out the NetSuite 2023.2 release. Daryl, can you tell us a little bit more about what gets updated in a new release?
Well, typically the new release pushes out to all customers cumulative bug fixes that have been pushed to individual accounts that they have deemed to be applicable for all accounts. They've also include some enhancements to modules, and they also include some completely new features which you can take advantage of when you get your update.
Cool. Well, Luis, how can companies take advantage of that update or the release?
Yeah, so the way we recommend the customers should approach this is, no one knows what's new until you go and read the release notes. So there's always a release notes for this particular time is 2023.2. So there's a very detailed PDF saying everything that is new and everything that's going to be enhanced during this release. My recommendation is you go and try to go through it and see what features are really affected and what features do you use from the ones that are being enhanced. And once you identify all that, there is another step that you should take on this process, and you have to request the release preview instance. So again, there's a way to go in the system and request it. If you're not very clear how to do it, just ask your NetSuite consultant. And once you get this release preview instance, this is kind of a copy of your instance with the new features, but that will not affect production. And so you can go test. You have 30 days to go there, test, to perform tests and go make sure you test, first of all, your critical processes, everything you do on a daily basis, and also your customizations. Customizations are not supposed to break with these releases, but they need to be tested in the new environment. And once you do that, then go and test the features that you identified in the release notes that you might have a new field, completely new screen for a process that you use. So go make sure you test those processes as well. If you're not sure how to keep track of these tests, there are templates available in NetSuite that you can leverage. And again, if you're not really sure how to access all these assets, just reach your NetSuite consultant. He'll guide you through on this.
Okay. Well, that's really helpful, and I know that it's important to get those testings done because you don't want to have that 30 days pass and then you're live in your production and then something breaks down. So it's really important that you go and test that. I also know there are several areas that will see improvement. What are some of the highlights that customers can expect in this update?
Yeah, so there are two new releases, basically completely new modules that NetSuite released on this time. It is the NetSuite account reconciliation module. This is a module that has been used in the past for the Oracle ERP, and that was brought into NetSuite now. So there's a integration that you don't even see, and it's a very, very robust module that helps you reconcile all your GL accounts, including intercompany transactions, bank transactions, accounts receivable and payable, accruals, fixed asset, you name it. It's a very complete tool now that it's available. And The good thing is this had to standardize the reconciliation process and using intelligent auto match system. So it's definitely an enhancement for those who want to go further on the account reconciliation. And again, it's a totally new module that is being released. The other new big feature, and it's a NetSuite guided learning tool. And you can see now when after you get your new release, you can see a small little icon on the right on most of your pages, and it's kind of a guided control that it's there every time, and you need to activate it for sure. But for those new users that have problems adopting how to use and how to navigate and where to go when inputting data or creating a transaction, creating a record, there's a letter I there that you can press, and it basically takes you where you need to go. And I think it's a big step here to increase the user adoption and help NetSuite implementations get through with high user satisfaction. So yeah, those two are the big new features here. And then there are some improvements to other features. I'm going to talk a little bit about one. We know the AP automation was released in the previous release on January and February, but now they enhance the bill capture and they enhance the payment automation. So they have approvals on the payments now, and so you can approve by batches, and ensuring only authorized transactions get paid. So that's a good feature there for the automation, and they enhance the machine learning capabilities on the bill capture. You remember this uses the OCR technology, where you just put your invoice there, scan it for you, and then it is now adding more features to it. So I invite you to go and see all the enhancement in the release notes. And I think Daryl has other features to talk about as well.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely. There's tons of new features in here, so make sure you go and go through the release notes pretty carefully just to see what it applies to your account. One thing that I'm pretty excited about is the new Suite app, Item 360. This allows you to quickly review any item to see that Item 360 detail, which you can see on any item record, put in a new little app, which allows you to quickly switch between one item to the next item, showing you all the purchase order information, sales information, as well as like the inventory available for that item. And you can switch, like I said, between one item to the next item. It's really good if you've got matrix items where you have multiple different variations of products, so you can quickly identify which ones you need to order and which ones you necessarily don't need to order. Some other enhancements that have been made in this release include the fixed assets module, which allows you now to split fully depreciated assets into individual assets. And that's pretty cool. Another thing you can do is, another new feature is the bulk asset split, which allows you to take assets, import them as a CSV, and split them all very quickly without having to go into each individual one and do the splits that way, like you used to have to do. One module that's been very, very close and dear to me is the WMS module. One cool new feature is the wave criteria. So now when you run a wave, you have the ability to edit the criteria to determine those sales orders which are going to be included in your wave. So before, you used to have to go in and create a new search and tag it in a certain way first, but now you can edit that criteria directly onto the wave page itself. And they've also made some enhancements to the WMS app for your emulators. That's where you can go and change the size of the buttons, change the look and feel, as well as customize it in a much more easy to use manner than it was before. As far as WMS, they've also added the ability to scan in HIBC barcodes. It's a new kind of technology they're using now for scanning in items. And Melissa, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that you guys covered a lot of information, and I think that there are a lot of cool new features that NetSuite is covering here that might reduce the need for going to a third party solution or tool with some of these new updates. So that is neat, and being able to customize, particularly for the WMS, that is a big deal. That's pretty cool that they're going to be able to make it more um, individualized to a specific organization's needs. Well, Daryl and Luis, thank you so much for chatting with our listeners today. And if our listeners have any questions regarding the new release, keep an eye out for additional communications being sent by Witham to help you through your update. And thank you to our listeners. We hope you'll catch us on another episode of Take Me to the Cloud.
You've been listening to Take Me to the Cloud. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to be alerted of new episodes. For more information, visit witham.com.